Hey guys, and welcome back to Sprinkle of Courage. Now today's video is going to be about yourself and myself. Now that might not make any sense at all, but it's going to be about how you view yourself. I was in a therapy session and my therapist asked me a question that really struck me, and she said, will I ever be enough for myself? Will there ever come a point in my life where I'm enough and I don't have to change and I accept who I am? And I have been in therapy for a while now, and I honestly thought that I would have an easier time answering this question, because for those who have stuck around for a while, you will know that I view myself as worthless. I have wrote it into my leg a few times, I have a scar from it, and I didn't think that it'd be that hard to answer after I've been working on sort of confidence and my sort of how I view myself. And she let me think about it, and honestly, it was really sad to realise that I don't think I'll ever be enough for myself. Even though I have been working on it and I may not be as critical on myself as I once was, I am still very much hard on myself. I am still very mean to myself. I still view myself as not good enough and I need to change everything, and I really don't like myself a lot. And that I don't think that's ever going to change. I think there's always going to be something that I will always want to change. I don't think there's ever going to come a time where I am fully happy with myself and say that I'm enough. The way I am right now is enough for me. I don't need to change. And that really made me sad, because to think that you view yourself as worthless and that is how you're going to view yourself for the rest of your life, and you don't think that's going to change, is incredibly sad. Like, if it was somebody else, I would hate to think that someone would think for their entire life that they were worthless. But for me, that's how I feel. We also discussed that people like to change a lot of aspects of themselves physically, whether it's dyeing their hair, losing weight, tattoos, piercings, whatever, to sort of change their appearance to see if that would help. But what she told me was that a lot of the things that make you want to be different and make you not accept yourself are on the inside, and they can't be changed unless you deal with them. And that was quite hard, because it's easier to change physical appearances, but it's incredibly hard to sit down and talk about things that you don't like about yourself, thoughts you have in your head about yourself that make you upset, that you really don't want to share with anybody else, but the only way to deal with them is to talk about them and sort them out. It's really scary when you think about how much hatred you have in you for your own being. I generally do not like myself. I look in a mirror, or as I'm filming this video now, I can think of so many things, and I have got so many negative comments whirling around in my head, and when I go to edit this to sort of put it all together nicely, I'm gonna be watching it and cringing and just hating myself, because I generally don't like it. And I hate the fact that even today, that there's people out there who hate themselves, who are just have this genuine dislike for their own being because of either what other people say or what they've gone through, or they just don't know how to deal with it, these feelings inside, and they don't know how to stop it. And the only way to take it out is through hurting themselves, whether it's emotionally or physically. And you guys know that I wrote worthless into my leg countless times, and I have that scar now. I still hate the fact that it's going to fade. It is going to fade, and it's already starting to sort of lose its colour and sort of fade away, and every time I see it, I have the anxiety that it's gonna fade. And I have worked so hard on my self-harm issues, and I have worked so hard on confidence. But to hear that I still view myself as worthless, and to then see that scar start to fade, I am fighting that feeling inside of me that is saying, carve it again. You need to remember you're worthless. Carve it again. Because I know that if I give in to that feeling, then I'm admitting it, that I am worthless and that I'm no good. And it's hard. It's horrible to have a genuine dislike for yourself and hatred for yourself that you feel the need to take it out on your own body, or you hate looking in mirrors or taking pictures, or you hate filming videos and generally just feel like you're never going to be good enough. And I think that's one of the saddest things, is when you realise that you're never going to be good enough for yourself. And it started me to think that if I'm not good enough for myself, am I ever going to be good enough for anybody else? You know, friends, relationships. Am I always going to be this worthless person? And it took me by surprise, and I wanted your guys' feedback. How do you deal with those negative voices in your head about yourself? And answer the question, do you feel like you're ever going to be good enough for yourself? Do you think there's going to be a point in your life where you can sit back and say, I accept how I am, I accept the way I look, I accept everything about me, I don't want to change, I accept myself? Do you feel there's ever going to be a time where you would be happy to accept your own being without the negative thoughts and the constant wanting to change? Because for me, I don't think there's ever going to be a time in my life where that would happen. And that made me sad, because I don't think anyone should feel worthless, because it's a horrible feeling to have. And to feel like I'm going to have that feeling for the rest of my life scares me, because it means I'm going to have to battle that feeling. And it just really made me sad that I came to a realisation that after all the therapy, and even though I felt more confident and I'd been doing a lot of work on sort of self-esteem, that when it came down to the question, I still felt worthless. And it took me by surprise. So you guys let me know what your answers will be, whether you think there will be a time in your life where you happily accept yourself, or any ideas on how you deal with the negative voices in your head and how you stop the thoughts about how horrifying you are. It'll be interesting to see what you guys think, and if you find the question as hard as I found it. So that's all this week. I will see you soon, and thanks for watching.